Good evening. Today is August 13th, and we are starting our Monday evening webinar. If you're joining us from Asia, the Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, good evening. If you're joining us from Europe, good afternoon. And if you're joining us from the United States, good morning. Today's presentation is about mood boosters, and I'm so happy that all of you are here. So I'm going to share my screen with you and get started. So some of you may know me and some of you may not. My name is Elena Jordan, and this is our way kind of communicating with the team. It's a terrific way for us to get together on a weekly basis and to begin to talk about different subjects having to do with health. I have been with doTERRA now for almost 6 years. And before that was with another essential oil company. And I have to say, this is really my favorite. doTERRA has been on the forefront, on the cutting edge, really, of making sure that we have amazing products that can help us with our health. And mood is no different. I also want to remind everyone that the ideas from today's presentation are taken from Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, a beginner's guide. It is the top 50 health issues from A to Z. I am the co-author of that book with Carrie Donegan, and it is a great book, I think, if you are interested in getting started with essential oils, or if you're introducing others to essential oils. It's a way for you to basically look at where you are and then look at the next 90 days. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a small round disc that says 90-day plan. And we'll be talking more about that book, perhaps not today, but in the weeks and months to come. So you're going to learn a lot about how to get started and how to make 90-day plans for yourself. So today is no different. The items that I am suggesting to you, I strongly suggest that you use for 90 days, especially with natural health products. We find that using a 90-day time frame is really the best way for us to get started and to get healthier. The body doesn't usually respond from one capsule or one essential oil drop. We have to begin to introduce something new over a period of time to begin to see changes. But the changes can be dramatic, more dramatic even than we ever expected. So stick with it, especially for 90 days, and I think you're going to see some profound results. I also want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. This is a team of nearly 15,000 people, if you can believe it, talking about essential oils and on the forefront of getting healthy and staying healthy using natural products. And at the beginning of each month, we will be announcing the new rank advancements. Those are the people that have been sharing in such a way as to merit them a place in the sun, if you will, and a chance to actually earn an income, maybe replace the income from another job that they have, but certainly to supplement their current income. And I want to say thank you to everyone who rank advanced in the month of July, and that we're very excited to see what August brings for us. Okay, so today we're talking about mood boosters. I have to say, this woman really looks happy. She has an open, fresh face. She's got a big smile on her face. When I talk about mood boosting, I always want to talk about smiling. I think it's a really important thing. Very often when I get on the phone or I have to send a text message even or an email, I will smile at the computer. And there are studies that show that by frowning and concentrating too hard, we actually can send a message that's more harsh. So if your goal is to send something that is friendly and is open, try smiling as you're sending your messages. It really will help you to boost your mood and to send something that's a little bit happier. Okay, so how do we define mood? So mood is a temporary state of mind. We usually associate mood with emotions and use descriptive words to describe. For example, positive mood descriptors would be things like blissful or cheery, joyful, mellow, or silly. Negative mood descriptors would include things like annoyed or cranky, grumpy, irritated, or sad. And happiness researcher Sonia Lubomirsky has identified 3 influences of mood. She reports that personality traits predispose our particular moods, which account for 50% of our set point of happiness. So that's just, I guess, the way we're born. And then 40% is influenced by what we deliberately do to make ourselves happy, while the remaining 10% is attributed to life circumstances. So we really do have control, at least over 50% of what we can and cannot do, and it can affect how we approach life and go through our day. Okay, so let's talk a little bit first about genetics and mood. So you can see here the mom and the daughter. Maybe the mom is predisposed to sadness or moodiness or depression, and now we see the daughter also is beginning to feel, in this, at least in this photo, very similar looks on their faces. So mood disorders affect over 20 million Americans, and with many more affected worldwide, with major depression and bipolar disorder being among the most common types of mood disorders. Genetics are known to play a major role in influencing susceptibility to mood disorders. While we can't influence our genetic predisposition, there are medical and natural methods for boosting mood. Once diagnosed, of course, with a mood disorder, please keep in mind to always follow your doctor's advice and only use alternative therapies if they are appropriate for you. And now I know there are some people that are on this call that have actually stopped using medication because they have gradually weaned themselves off of the medication by using natural methods of support, whether it's essential oils or other methods, but I think we always want to keep in mind that, hold on everyone, I'm just looking because I'm seeing a lot of chats and I'm wondering if you can't hear me. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Oops. Okay, just checking. So I see that everybody can see the screen, which is a great thing. So we want to make sure that when we are looking at how susceptible we are to being affected by a mood disorder, we want to look at our genetics. Do your parents perhaps suffer from mood disorders, or your siblings? It's an important thing for us to consider. And then when we do receive medical advice, to take that medical advice and maybe use other methods to support ourselves side by side until maybe perhaps you're able to make some small shifts. Okay, so ways to influence your mood. Let's start first with, if 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics, that means the other 50% is something that we can influence. Lifestyle choices are the biggest influencer we have control over. Surprisingly, what we eat can affect our mental and emotional health. Certain foods can bring about changes in our brain structure, both chemically and physiologically, which can lead to altered behavior. The amount of sleep we get each night also impacts our mood. There's nothing worse than being sleep deprived while trying to maintain a positive mood during trying times. Physical activity has been shown to affect mood in different ways. While the link between depression and anxiety and exercise aren't entirely clear, we do know these mood disorders can improve with regular exercise. So I'm going to just touch on sleep for a moment, and we're not going to talk specifically about sleep, but those of you who've been with me for a long time do know that we have two products available. One is called Serenity, which is a essential oil blend, which is called Lavender Sleep, or Lavender Peace, excuse me, in Asia. And its component or sister product, which is Serenity Soft Gels. What I love about these two products side by side is that they can be used daily and really help us to ease into a natural, undrugged sleep. And I know many young people especially suffer from sleep disorders when they get to, and I want to call out college students right now because I have a college student of my own. And many of the young people that I work with are college students. Getting enough sleep is critical to keeping our mood on an even keel. If you're able to get into bed every night and really fall asleep, get to sleep and stay asleep, it's going to really help you the following day. So how do we do that? We try to get ourselves to bed on time, and on time usually means within a normal range, you know, not staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning and then sleeping till 4 o'clock in the following day, trying to get ourselves perhaps to bed by midnight or a little bit earlier if you're a student, and then getting up at a normal hour the following day, and keeping a normal sleep rhythm. So if you usually sleep from 12 to 7, continuing that rhythm despite other things will really help you to stabilize your mood. If your sleep patterns are erratic, it can absolutely affect how you feel and how you interact with others. So now we want to talk about to eat or not to eat. And I have to say on this diagram here, or this photograph, you can see healthy foods like herbs, perhaps in the upper left, maybe that's spinach, some nuts, a little bit of some whole grains or legumes, some avocado, some natural oils there, fatty oils, maybe avocado oil or olive oil, perhaps eggs and salmon, all things that in general are healthy foods for the brain. Why? Because they contain healthy fats, and the brain needs fat to be able to keep, to stay healthy. Okay, so what we eat impacts us both in a positive and negative way. We need food as fuel. However, different nutrients have different effects on mood. Nutrients we want to try to get more of are things like omega-3, tryptophan, vitamin D, and selenium. And then foods to avoid include caffeine, sugar, and unhealthy fats. Unfortunately, sometimes when our mood is low, we tend to reach for something with caffeine or sugar because it really does give us a quick boost. The problem is it also tends to break us down and then have us fall into a crash later on. So don't try to sustain your mood with caffeine and sugar. It's really not going to get you anywhere healthy. Okay, so here, let's talk about my way of staying healthy and really keeping my mood on an even keel. 3 products that I use on a daily basis are Alpha CRS, Cellular Vitality Complex, which helps support a healthy inflammatory response, cellular immune function, mental clarity and healthy brain function, cellular energy, and supports healthy mitochondria. It's by supplying metabolic factors of energy production. So what better way to basically feel better is to have a little bit more energy. If your mood is down and you have no energy, it's going to be hard for you really to slip off that cloak of depression or sadness. The other product, my favorite, is Microplex MVP or VMC. It helps fights free radicals with antioxidants A, C, and E. It supports healthy metabolism and cellular energy, healthy digestion, and provides 22 essential vitamins and minerals to support normal growth, functioning, and maintenance of cells. And we're going to call out a couple of those specific minerals in a minute. I want to talk about a little bit about selenium, and I also want to talk about vitamin D, super important, and this product contains it. And then finally, the XE Omega, and I'm actually reading these kind of in a reverse order. I should have gone, I guess, left to right, but I didn't. And the XE Omega promotes healthy skin, healthy joint function, cardiovascular health, muscular strength, and endurance. But the biggest thing about XE Omega is because it is a fatty oil or essential omega-3 complex, is that it supports the brain. Studies done at Harvard University back in the early 2000s showed that patients with depression were actually helped dramatically by just the ingestion of fish oil. Now, many of them took fish oil in larger doses. So instead of taking a single capsule of XE Omega, they were taking multiple capsules. But as you know, a full dose of XE Omega is actually 4 capsules per day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And you're taking from these 3 bottles, 2, 2, and 2, twice a day. So that's 2, 2, and 2, twice a day. I'd love to actually, if you were suffering from difficulties with mood or with depression or anxiety, see you increase your omegas, perhaps by taking 1 extra capsule a day, 1 or 2 extra capsules, especially if you're a fully grown adult, or supplementing your diet with foods that are rich in omega-3s. And we're going to talk about some of those foods. Many of the foods that I showed you in the previous slide, the nuts, the legumes, the salmon, the eggs, are all high in omega-3. And if you're not getting them in a healthy diet, you want to make sure that you're adding them. Okay, so something fishy. This is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about omega-3s. And here's some wild salmon that has a lot of omega-3s. Now, I know we'd have some vegans on the call. If you are vegan and you are not able to eat animal protein, you might want to consider supplementation with things like flaxseed oil, which is very high in omega-3. And we're going to talk about in a minute some other sources. Okay, so omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids have been the subject of much research over the years, and studies show a link between healthy fat and depression. Omega-3 is naturally found in fatty fish, flaxseed, and walnuts. Research also suggests that omega-3s appear to affect neurotransmitter pathways in the brain. There are 3 neurotransmitters which affect aspects of personality, including mood. These neurotransmitters include dopamine, serotonin, and noradrenaline. The balance of these neurotransmitters is heavily dependent on nutrition. So if you are a strict dieter and are eliminating a lot of natural fats in your diet, you want to make sure that you're adding back perhaps some of the healthier ones and eliminating other things, perhaps eliminating sweeties or ice cream or maybe cakes or cookies, anything that really has empty calories, and adding back some natural fatty omega-3s. The other thing is you can use supplementation if you don't like any of these foods or you don't tend to eat them on a regular basis. Really consider supplementation. And even children starting at the age of about age 2 can see benefits from ingesting additional omega-3s. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the other products that I love and I think help to maintain mood. PB Assist is a probiotic defense formula and helps with healthy digestive functions and immunities. Now, if your immunity is low or your digestive function is very poor, you're not going to feel happy. It's just very hard. This is a proprietary blend of prebiotic fiber and probiotic microorganisms in a double layer of vegetable capsule. It delivers 6 billion CFUs, or active probiotic cultures, and soluble prebiotic FOSs, or fructooligosaccharides, that encourage friendly bacterial growth. And it can help to promote a positive balance and proliferation of beneficial bacteria. It supports healthy functioning of the digestive and immune systems and supports the health of the GI tract, particularly the intestines and the colon. And for those of you who have been with me on this call for a while, you know that sometimes the gut is called the second brain. If your gut is not healthy, you very often will not feel healthy yourself. So taking a probiotic on a regular basis and repopulating your gut with healthy microorganisms is a key way for you to retain your health and to be able to restore health if you find that it's lacking. And with this product, I also like to take Terrazyme. Terrazyme is a whole food enzyme complex. What we have, unfortunately, in our current situation, really all over the world, is that many foods have been depleted of their nutrient sources. They're often deficient in cooked, processed, and preservative-laden foods. And so by adding back Terrazymes or enzymes into our daily routine, we can help ourselves to really faithfully extract the nutrition in our foods. Again, we're talking about how nutrition affects mood. So if you're eating healthy foods, but your body isn't able to get the nutrients out of the food, you're not going to feel healthy. And if you're eating healthy food, but you don't have the healthy bacteria in your gut to break down the food, you're not going to feel healthy. You're not going to feel happy. And if you are not eating enough food, or you're not eating enough healthy food, and you're not supplementing, again, your mood is going to be affected. So what does Terrazyme do? It supports healthy digestion and metabolism. It speeds conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy. It promotes gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance, and supports healthy production of metabolic enzymes. It also provides important mineral cofactors for systemic enzymic activity. So what are we helping you to do here? We're helping you to break down your foods, to get all the nutrients out of your foods, and to help you to tolerate food. So when you hear of people that perhaps have difficulty digesting certain fruits or vegetables, or that they can't digest milk or other certain products, dairy products, or whey, this may be a way for them to begin to break down those products and absorb the nutrients within them. Okay, now let's say you are still not feeling well. You've added your supplements, and you've added your enzymes and your probiotics. You may actually have to go back to the drawing board and do a cleanse. There may be something in your intestinal tract or in your intestines that really is just not, it's sticking in there and not going away. That's where our GX Assist GI cleansing formula comes in. Now, this is part of a larger cleansing formula, which we will not talk about today. We talk about cleansing usually again in the fall, at the end of the summer. And we'll talk about cleansing probably in September at some time. But I like the idea that we always have the GX Assist formula available to us. It is a essential oil digestive maintenance program. And what you want to try to do is take it for about 10 days to really clean out your system. So it says here, directions for use: take 1 to 3 soft gels with meals for 10 days. When making a healthy lifestyle change, GX Assist can be your first step in an essential oil digestive maintenance program. If you're looking for a natural way to cleanse, GX Assist is a proprietary blend of CPTG certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils and caprylic acid that supports a healthy digestive system. And after overindulgence, take a GX Assist to give your digestive tract a break. You may want to take this with you when you're traveling. If you are eating a lot of unfamiliar foods, they may contain bacteria or other enzymes that you just are disturbing to your particular digestive system. So this is a great thing to take with you. And I've also heard of many people who take GX Assist when they're feeling really low. So if they have a cold or a flu, and they really just want to cleanse those viruses out of their body, GX Assist is a terrific way to do it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about neurotransmitters, because we're still talking about mood boosting, folks. And so it's important for us to talk about all the different ways that we can boost and stimulate our neurotransmitters. So dopamine, involved in focus, drive, attention, memory, and clear thinking. It increases our levels and boosts feelings of pleasure. Elevation of dopamine levels often leads to an improvement in mood. Serotonin, the most studied neurotransmitters, one of the most studied neurotransmitters, regulates mood, anxiety, arousal, aggression, impulse control, and thinking abilities. Serotonin deficiency is associated with low mood. And finally, noradrenaline, or norepinephrine, synthesized from dopamine and involved in mood elevating action. So really we're talking about dopamine and serotonin, and how noradrenaline is a resulting product of those two. Okay, so how can our dopamine and serotonin levels be affected by the low carb craze? A lot of people are going low carb, and while that can be very healthy in many ways, we want to make sure that we are getting some healthy carbs to maintain our levels of dopamine and serotonin. Okay, so smart carb choices include whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Tryptophan levels in the brain influence the amount of serotonin our brain can create. While tryptophan is abundant in most protein-rich foods, other amino acids that are also present cause tryptophan to have to compete for absorption into the bloodstream. This isn't the case with smart carbohydrate choices. When eating smart carbs, more tryptophan enters the brain, increasing synthesis of serotonin, allowing a steady, positive mood boost. So please choose your carbs widely. I'm not advocating that you eat a lot of white bread or go out and eat a pound of cookies or some cake, but there are wonderful choices out there that can really help us to stimulate our serotonin level. Okay, now let's say your mood is still low and you really don't have a lot of energy. What can you consider? Mito to Max is one of my favorite products, and I like to take it actually at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day. So it is a proprietary formula of plant extracts and metabolic cofactors to help support healthy cellular function, optimal mitochondrial function, aerobic capacity, and stamina. So those of you who are exercising on a regular basis, also to maintain mood, may consider taking your Mito Max before you go for exercise. So you can take a pill when energy levels are down, before studying to help increase mental energy, when you're tired for an extra energy boost, and it can support healthy energy production. And it can improve stamina naturally without the use of harmful stimulants. And finally, it promotes healthy circulation. And this is when we talk about not using stimulants like sugar and caffeine to actually get the boost that you need. So you want to try to take 2 capsules daily with food and refrain from using before going to sleep. It's not going to make you jittery the way caffeine would. Or other Red Bulls or other energy products that are on the market, but it will give you a little bit of an energy boost. And I always find for me, whenever my energy or stamina are low, that's when I feel the most depressed or sad. Okay, let's talk a little bit about vitamin D. Vitamin D is found naturally in certain foods. It's also found, we also get vitamin D from being outdoors in the sun, because we have become a culture that is getting a little crazy with our use of sunscreens. We're actually not allowing our bodies to absorb a little bit of natural vitamin D from the sun. So it's important that we do get outside and get some natural vitamin D almost every day. Okay, so a study conducted at the University of Toronto reports increased vitamin D, improved mood in those suffering from depression, especially those with seasonal affective disorder. Vitamin D levels increase levels of serotonin in the brain, which we talked about before, the importance of serotonin, much like tryptophan in smart carbs. Supplements are available. However, food and sunlight are the best forms of this helpful vitamin D. Now, many of you I know have had your blood levels checked, and if you have not, it might be something to consider, especially if you're suffering from depression and anxiety. Go get your vitamin D level checked, because you may find that it's actually scarily low. So the Food and Drug Administration used to set a level of about 20 or so as a normal level in the US. And it now has increased that level to 100. So if your level was 20 or 21, you would now be in a deficiency. And what we realize is a level so low can actually be very harmful, and that you do begin to have other effects, including cardiovascular effects, if your vitamin D level is very low. So good sources of vitamin D are wild-caught fish and egg yolks, canned fish, things like salmon, or sardines, shiitake mushrooms for our vegans, almond milk, again for our vegans, fortified orange juice, and oatmeal. Now you will have to check the vitamin D amounts in each one of these products, but make sure that you're getting some kind of food with vitamin D on a regular basis, and also supplementing if you're very low. I know that now many cardiologists in the United States actually recommend vitamin D supplementation, and this is something really new. We've never talked about supplementation in the heart before, but at least not in the US, but it is now becoming very common for cardiologists to recommend this to their patients. Okay, selenium, another component that we, and a mineral that we need for functioning of the brain and improving mood. So selenium is a mineral naturally found in soil and which has been linked to preventing mood swings and depression. In fact, low levels of selenium have been linked to poor mood. The recommended intake for adults is 55 micrograms per day. And you can rest assured that selenium is one of the minerals included in our vitamin and mineral complex, Microplex VMZ, but I wanted to call it out today for you. So food rich in seleniums include things, seafoods, oysters, clams, sardines, crabs, saltwater fish, and freshwater fish, nuts and seeds, again for our vegans, particularly Brazil nuts. Those are those kind of jumbo size nuts, which you don't see too much in the market, at least not here in the US. You really have to search them out. Lean meat, things like pork and beef, skinless chicken and turkey, whole grains, whole grain pasta, brown rice, and oatmeal, and beans and legumes. And for those of you who are vegans, you know that combining a whole grain like brown rice and a legume like beans, you can actually create a whole protein. So that's a wonderful way for you to include lots of selenium in your diet. Okay, cacao. Here's an interesting one. Now, we don't have cacao in a lot of our products, but we do have it in our trim shake. Now, if you are vegan and you are taking the V shake, you might want to get some cacao nibs and throw it into your blender from time to time if you're mixing up one of our vegan shakes. So cacao originates from the original plant, from the same plant as cocoa. The process they go through differs, creating two different products. Cacao offers numerous benefits. Antioxidants are responsible for 10% of the weight of raw cacao. Epicatechin is a powerful flavonoid and natural mood booster and contains 20 times more antioxidants than blueberries. It increases the level of neurotransmitter serotonin, helping to balance mood swings and restore feelings of well-being. It contains anandamide, a well-known mood booster, and it's produced naturally in the brain as the body's own natural antidepressant. Cacao comes in various forms, including powder and raw cacao nib form. Cacao can be made into a drink, blended into smoothies, or sprinkled over oats or yogurt for a treat. So if you have a health store next to you or near you, you might want to consider picking up some cacao nibs and adding them into your diet. They really do have kind of a chocolatey flavor. They are not sweet, so you're going to have to blend them with something that has a little bit of sweetness. Otherwise, they're going to seem a little bitter to you. But yes, it is a wonderful way for you to, and it's like eating a chocolate bar. Why do people eat chocolate bars? Because there is some cacao in there that helps people to feel a little bit better and more cheerful. And here's our trim shakes. Again, we're talking about balanced nutrition and getting the nutrition that you need. So whether you are trying to maintain your weight, lose weight, or gain weight, this is a wonderful addition to your daily routine. You can drink a shake as a meal substitute if you're trying to lose weight. You can add a shake to your daily routine if you're trying to gain weight or make muscle gains. And you can just use trim shakes throughout the day as an easy way for you to get a complete protein and also to be thoroughly nourished while on the go. I'll sometimes take 1 or 2 scoops, put it into a blender bottle, and then carry the blender bottle with me in my purse or tote bag, and then add a little bit of fresh cold water and blend it up. Now, the blender bottle, I have to say that I have, has a little mixer in it. Almost looks like a mini whisk. It's sort of a round whisker ball, and that helps to really blend the powder with the water. I add ice to mine because, as all of you know, I'm an ice fanatic. I guess you could drink it warm, but it's really meant to be drunk cool as a shake. You could probably mix it up and then let it stand at room temperature, but I usually put water and then ice and then the blendy ball and then cap the whole thing and then shake it up for about 30 seconds, and it really is a delicious drink on the go. I also find that when I'm going to be running around, I don't want to have to be trying to find something to eat or stopping to eat something that's either not so healthy or maybe is too expensive, or I'll have to wait on a long line. I'd rather just have something right on hand for me to eat when I'm on the go, and something that I know is healthy and good for me. And so that's the end of our presentation today. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. I wish I were there to give you all a big hug, but I love the fact that when we're on this call every morning, I love the fact that we're on live and that we really do have a community here of users and people that are sharing their ideas. I'd love to hear from you in the chat group if you can. Type in for me anything that you've noticed that you can use specifically for diet to improve your mood, because I think that some of the ways that I've thought of maybe are things that you've already thought of yourself. Last but not least, we are going to be talking about mood boosters that are essential oil based. You know that our essential aromatherapy essential oils for mood include things like motivate and peace and console. We try to use those in the morning and at night. And we also know that our citrus oils are terrific mood boosters. Everything from lime to lemon to orange to grapefruit, petitgrain, all of these are wonderful mood boosters. So I'm going to actually stop the share now. Let's see if I can stop it. Oops. Yes. I'm going to answer any questions you may have. Okay. Any questions? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, so somebody's saying that in Malaysia, some of the products are not available right now, but that the approvals from the Ministry of Health are in process, and the company is working on getting those for the Malaysia market. Also have another question here. Can children take this? I usually recommend that if the child is the size of a small adult, so sometimes we have 12-year-olds that are the size of a small adult, that yes, they can begin to take this product. You can also always try to take this, instead of taking 2 and 2 morning and night, you can have the younger or smaller person start with 1 per day of each one of the capsules. There are children's supplements available. I should have included them in the presentation. I'm sorry, I'm running a little bit long today. But we do have children's supplements, and we do have children's omegas available, and a children's probiotic. So we can investigate those on another day. And I see Jennifer is telling us that she really loves LLV, and it uplifts her energy level to get to do her daily activities. So I'm actually going to stop the share now.